Today we will be forcing Storm in the Vintage Cube, and I've got to say, Shield Red is better than Tendrils of Agony. You're going to see it in this video. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome to another Storm Cube here at the Epic Storm. We always force Storm combo in Vintage Cube. Alright, I've already wasted enough time setting up this recording, so we're going to draft pretty quickly here with pack number 1. I think it's just Wheel of Fortune. If you're going to force Storm combo, this is probably the best card in the pack. So we'll take that. Pack number 2, Demonic Tutor. Okay. If it wasn't Demonic Tutor, I would probably take the City of Traders, but we have a slam dunk pick here. We're just going to take Demonic Tutor. In pack number 3, these picks are going by fairly quickly. Spell Pierce is fine. I've never played the Mystic Forge deck, but I heard that it exists. You could also try a Shallow Grave into like Gristlebrand sort of combo. That might be... I think I'm going to take the Spell Pierce. I think Shallow Grave is probably my next pick. Pack number 4. It turns out they've added in the Land Cyclers from Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. I love that. I believe it's just an easy Vampiric Tutor here. If it wasn't Vampiric Tutor, I'd probably take the Animate Dead and lean into Reanimator a little bit. But Vamp is just an easy slam dunk. So we have 2 tutors at the moment. I am really looking forward to finding something like Tinker. Blightsteel Colossus is great in case you end up with Tinker. I do like High Tide. And I also like the Faithless Looting. I think any of these 3 could be right. I'm going to lean Tide and hope that I'm the only one drafting Storm. I don't know if that decision will pan out for us. Pretty easy brainstorm here, I think. Inquisition of Kozilek. You could also take Lurrus. I've had very few Lurrus decks that ended up being playable in my experience. But you could take it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily hurt. But I think the pick should just be Inquisition. Tendrils of Agony. Thank you. I do appreciate having that in pack number 1. We're back to our first pack. It's likely Scrapwork Mutt or this Rona Herald of Invasion. I haven't had a whole lot of luck playing Rona, but I do think it is playable. So we'll probably just take that, but it's not a card I'm excited to play if it ends up making the cut. Murderous Rider versus something like Birthing Pod. I mean, I'm probably not going to play any of these cards. I guess we'll take the Murderous Rider as like a sideboard card. The Shallow Grave Wield, that's cool. I mean, we don't have Gristlebrand yet, but at least it's an option. We do have the Rona to discard a creature. Take Splinter Twin combo, I guess. Backdoor into it. We saw a Kiki Jiki earlier. I doubt that's going to get passed to us. We'll take the Kagula. That can go right into our sideboard. Mana Fixing. It's not the worst. And Misery's Shadow. So we did not get back the Blightsteel Colossus. Mana Crypt. Don't mind if I do. Hello. Next pack. We actually have a couple really tough picks here. Mana Vault is obviously broken. Mind's Desire, Mizzix's Mastery. There's a lot of cards I want in this pack. Not to mention Manamorphose, Xander's Lodge, and Duress. Like, this pack is insane for us, but we only get one selection. And I kind of think it's supposed to be the Mana Vault. I'm hoping that Mind's Desire makes its way back to us. Our deck is definitely lacking high-end payoffs right now, but we're also really low on mana. Paradoxical Outcome is a card we're allowed to play. It's not one that I think is particularly good for what it's worth, but we do have 2 mana rocks now, and I'm not really seeing much else in this pack, so I think I'm going to take the Outcome, but it's not a card I'd like to play. I think it's not great, but Mana Crypt and Mana Vault obviously make it a little bit better. Force of Will, Archon of Cruelty, those are both fine. Sneak Attack. I think it's the Force of Will. Spellseeker. Yeah, not much else in this pack. Yeah, it kind of feels like the Storm cards are drying up on us, but we'll keep on playing it out and seeing what actually ends up being true in the end. Bolas's Citadel and Yawgmoth's Will? Come on! So, Citadel is by far my favorite Storm card in the cube. We don't have Dark Ritual yet, or Cabal Ritual, and we do have Demonic Tutor into Yawgmoth's Will into Tendrils. I kind of feel like Yawgmoth's Will is currently better in our deck. I'm going to once again pray that Citadel somehow wheels. I don't think it's going to, but I think the correct pick here is the Yawgmoth's Will. We'll take the Blood Crypt. Could take the Cryptic Command, it's just super expensive. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Blood Crypt. I'd like to avoid going into red. So right now we only have the Wheel of Fortune, which I kind of like. If we want to be the High Tide deck, and I'm not sure if that's the right move or not, but third piece of red mana fixing versus Seething Song. We don't have any red payoffs. Could also take like 3 in Dynamo for the outcome. I'm going to take the Blackleaf Glyphs. That was a tough call. Thirst for Discovery. Desire did come back. That's good. Unfortunately, we don't get Mizzix's Mastery or Duress. None of these cards are really all that great. I guess we could take the Zealous Conscripts in case we end up with Kiki Jiki combo. Take the Sneak Attack. None of these picks matter. Citadel Wield! How about that? Love it. Can't believe we wheeled my favorite card in Vintage Cube. You love to see that. Come on, I'm stoked right now. So right now we're at 25 cards. 4 of these are cards that I ideally don't want to play. 5 if you count the Paradoxical Outcome. So we definitely need some more playables here. Underground Sea is a very good one if we want to end up as High Tide. Memory Jar. I think it's just the Underground Sea. Time Twister, big fan of that. I don't really want to end up playing Red Rituals. Like, if you're going to end up with the High Tide deck, you really want to be 2 colors. So I think it's just Time Twister. Baral is great. Okay, so we have 2 wheels. We could take the Narset here and just try to wheel people out. Shield Dread is also incredibly good with the wheels. I think the pick is actually Narset. There's so many cards I want to come back in this pack too. Like Spirebluff Canal, Baral, Shield Dread. I'd be happy with any of those. I'm going to start cutting the cards I don't think we're going to end up playing, just so I can sort our deck and have a better idea. Our deck is actually really light on mana. We don't have Dark Ritual or Cabal Ritual. You could have argued that I was supposed to take the green-white Talisman just for Paradoxical Outcome and Mana Crypt, but like it's literally just a 2-mana rock that makes it colorless. I'm not sure how good that really is, but right now we're really light on mana. There's Splinter Twin. We have that if we want it. I don't know if we do, but there's not a whole lot else in this pack. I guess I'm taking Splinter Twin. Candelabra of Tanos. We do have High Tide. And Frantic Search. Okay, we're going to take the Frantic Search and hope that the candle comes back to us. Frantic Search is one of my favorite cards for playing High Tide in the cube. Treachery is also very good with High Tide. We're going to take that. Turnabout. Okay, so here's a bunch of mana. High Tide just got a lot better in our deck. None of these cards are actually good. We'll take Through the Breach, I guess. We're missing Time Spiral right now for untappers. So if we could wheel the Candelabra and make that come back, and then the Time Spiral, this is one of the best Tide decks I've ever drafted. And this is our first pack, so we're not going to see anything else. So some people like the Chrome Host Seed Shark as a backup win condition. We don't actually have a backup win condition, so we could end up taking this and playing it. I don't want to play this, but it's an option. We could also just take Treasure Cruise. Not very good in our Citadel deck, though. Let's take the Shark. We're not going to play any of these, but we'll take the Desperate Ritual, I guess. Brawl, welcome. Ooh, Shield Dread. That's our backup win con. Let's go. Hard Evidence. We can maybe play this as a blocker against like Mono Red or Mono White. We're at 28 cards currently with 4 lands. That's not too bad. I don't think I'm going to end up playing the Paradoxical Outcome with just Mana Vault and Mana Crypt. Seems ambitious. And we got the Candle! Yes! Alright, our deck is actually fairly good now. Okay, stoked about this. We didn't end up with Dark Ritual, but I still think that our deck ended up being fairly good. Dark Confidant snuck in as our final pick. Alright, so here's everything. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see. I don't think I actually want to end up playing Dark Confidant. So this is 28 with 4 lands. So that's 24. Let's add basics. We're not going to do any mountains. We'll do another swamp here. And we're going to add my own lands, because I was told that I can do that now. Beautiful. I love my invasion basics. Love it. This is probably too many black sources if I had to guess. So we can cut a couple swamps here, because all 3 of these up top are swamps. And then we'll add 2 more lands. So that's 7 black sources to potentially cast a Colossus Citadel without Dark Ritual in our deck. It's going to be kind of tough, but we have the option. It's possible. I could just cut 1 island for another swamp. Maybe I'll do that. So that gives me 8 black sources. That's probably fine. I think we actually ended up with a pretty good deck. I'm excited about this. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the draft. I'll see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw. We're going to keep this hand that needs a single black mana for a Shieldred. I believe we're facing Marshall from the Limited Resource podcast. We have a pretty good hand here. I mean, we want another black source for Shieldred and then finding Time Twister or the Wheel of Fortune. We have Thirst for Discovery to help that out. Force Will buys us some time. I think that this hand is actually pretty darn good. Marshall plays turn 1 Mountain into Grim Lavamancer. You've got it. We'll take a draw. That was a near perfect one. We'll play the Blackleaf Cliffs and then pass the turn. Blood Crypt, okay. Demonic Tutor is fine. My goal right now is to just protect the Shieldred with Force of Will, untap and Thirst for Discovery, and gain 6. Spell Pierce, I love that. Okay. Yeah, that was a great draw. They play a 3rd land and now a Laelia. That one's so good I'm going to force it. We can't let that happen. Okay, we're going to take 1 here down to 17. Mana Crypt. Well, that allows me to play Shieldred this turn with Spell Pierce backup. I am definitely into that. Okay, I mean, we just drew 3 straight runners in a row. Pretty good. Okay. They lose 2. They have land number 4. Mana Crypt. We'll choose heads and we lose the flip. Narset. I'm going to play a little conservatively here. I'm going to play the island because while I do want to discard a basic land to Thirst for Discovery, I want to make sure that our Shieldred doesn't die. We'll play Thirst. And we will discard 2 cards. Let's do the Narset and High Tide. And there's no reason for us to attack. We can just pass the turn. That attacking doesn't matter. I don't want my Shieldred to die. Interesting. Blue mana. Okay, on their end step, we'll cast Vampiric Tutor. We'll grab Wheel of Fortune. Mana Crypt, we'll choose Tails this time. We lose the flip. Never lucky. We'll lose 2 more. Play a Blood Crypt. Ouch. Let's attempt a Wheel of Fortune. If this resolves, we win the game. Boom! Love it. Alright, that was game number 1. So they're on an aggressive deck. Like, you could argue something like Hard Evidence is good, but I'm not sure if that's true. Murderous Rider, I suppose. I think I'd rather just resubmit. Demonic Tutor, Spellseeker. Yeah, this hand is great. Keep. Turn 1 Mountain into Cycling Oliphant. They grab a Steam Vents, okay. We draw another land, we'll play Island and pass. Grim Lavamancer's back. And the Steam Vents. Another land. Let's Demonic Tutor. I'm not sure what the right pick is here. So we could go grab something like, I don't know, Desire, for example. And Spellseeker for High Tide. So then in 2 turns we could go Tide, Turnabout, Desire for 3, which is a little bit lackluster, but it's a choice we have. I think that's going to be my pick. Okay. 3 mana for a Dak Faden. Okay. They discard 2 green cards. What is their deck? Holy moly. Sure. Yawgmoth's Will. That's certainly a good one. Spellseeker. Yes, let's go grab that High Tide. And then we'll pass the turn. They plus the Dak Faden again. Discarding Underground Sea and an Arbor Elf. Can't say that I'm a fan of their mana base, but I didn't draft it. They play a Badlands. 4 mana for a Chandra Torch of Defiance. Feeling pretty good about our odds right now. They plus the Chandra and reveal a Grist the Hunger Tide. We take 2. Spell Pierce. Alright, so hypothetically, I cast High Tide. Our turnabout then makes 4 mana. We float a blue. We turnabout, untap. Yawgmoth's Will. Yeah, this works. High Tide. Turnabout targeting ourselves. Land. Untap. And then we will Yawgmoth's Will. Now we'll cast High Tide again. Turnabout targeting me. Land, untap. And now we'll Demonic Tutor and we'll go get Frantic Search. Let's make a couple mana, and then we'll cast the Frantic Search. Discard. Discard. Untap, untap, untap. A little unfortunate that I drew the Shieldred that I can't cast here. And then Mind's Desire for 8. Okay. Time Twister. Inquisition. Vampiric Tutor. Brainstorm. I think we should cast that to try to get the Shieldred back in the deck. We'll put both of these back. 3 more Desires. We hit the Citadel. Thirst for Discovery. This is just game. We'll play Boss's Citadel. And then Vampiric Tutor for Tendrils of Agony. Wow. Our deck is so sweet. I love it. Sorry, Marshall. You got ran over. Whew. That was just awesome. Cube all day. I was hesitant to record this because our cube videos traditionally don't do very well, but after this match, I'm so glad that I did. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well, and I'll see you in the second match. Don't go anywhere. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the play. Mana Crypt, Frantic Search, and a Shieldred? Yeah, this hand's just nuts. We need to find a second black source, but I love it. I think I'm just going to go Island Go right now. You can have a Figure of Destiny. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say I play Mana Crypt. I cast Frantic Search floating a black. I'm 1 mana short of untapping and then playing, so next turn I have a guarantee Shieldred. We'll pass the turn. Okay. They swing. No blocks. Ouch, 19. Umezawa's Jite. That's not great for us, but okay. I could have forced it, chose not to. We'll play the island, play Mana Crypt, float some mana, and then we will play Frantic Search, discarding Mana Vault and Brainstorm. And then we'll untap, play the Shieldred with Forcible Backup. Pass the turn. Our opponent will now lose to Vindicate. That will be countered. Would I rather have Treachery for the Figure of Destiny or the Thirst for Discovery? I think the Treachery. Okay, Mana Crypt happens. We'll say Tails this time. We won the flip. How lovely. Turnabout. Let's just attack. I'd rather save these for something better than a Figure of Destiny. They go to 12. Dismember! They had multiple counters for my Shieldred. Ah, that's a bummer. Yep. That is disappointing. Okay. We put a lot of eggs in that basket. It didn't really pan out. Sure. Okay. They're at 8 life. But they do have Umezawa's Jite. Citadel I'm very far away from. I think I'm just going to take the creature here. And if they want to kill it in response, that's fine. Sweet. Ah, grief. Devastating. So our best draw just became like Yawgmoth's Will? I mean, we're still in this. We have outs. Another island. We'll play it and pass. They equip their Jit. So this will put me to 9. Graveyard Trespasser. I mean, their draw aligned very well against what we were doing here. Okay. We are dead on board, so this is our final draw step. Say tails, we lost the flip, doesn't matter. Draw. No red source. We will concede. Bummer. I mean, we had a really good opening hand as well. I'm going to take out the Rona for the Murderous Rider, I think. And then let's try that again. On the play for game number 2. This hand is very good. Keep. Blood Crypt tapped, and then we'll pass the turn. Giver of Ruins. Demonic Tutor. Seems like a good one. So if I go get Citadel, I could set up something if they have Grief, or I could choose to go get Mana Crypt. And next turn I could Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Shield Dread, Wheel of Fortune. And I think that's probably the move. Windswept Heath, Figure of Destiny. They're fetching. I like that, because that means that they're not going to have Dismember available. And they pump the figure. Perfect. We find a Black Cleave Cliffs, play the Swamp, Mana Crypt, play the Mana Vault. Wait, I'm 1 mana short. No, I'm not. I have 7. I counted correctly. Okay, I got nervous. And now we will play the Shield Dread and Wheel of Fortune. I almost don't even want to say it out loud, but the worst possible thing our opponent could have here is a Solitude. It looks like they all resolved. They had Vindicate and Dismember in hand. Wow. So that worked out for us. Triggers. Am I able to auto-yield to these? I am not. Okay, so we're going to click through all of these. I guess I could have just F6 here. Our opponent's at 3, and we're at 34. They're at 1 now. Dark Ritual. Parallax Wave. Okay. That is fine by me. We have something in our deck that deals 1 life. Mana Crypt. We'll choose Tails. We won the flip. Hallelujah. We will Vampiric Tutor. I think Tendrils of Agony might deal them 1. We'll grab that. No. I mean, our opponent's deck is very good, by the way. No disrespect to them whatsoever. Their deck is certainly great. And we'll cast the Tendrils. Storm 2. Plays around Mindbreak Trap. That's a joke. I don't even know if Mindbreak Trap's in the cube or not. Alright, so that was game 2. We're on the draw for game 3 now. We will click Submit. Oh, wow. We don't have a black mana, though. This hand just might be incredibly greedy. I'm going to keep it. I mean, it's going to bite me in the butt. Our opponent with a mulligan to 5. It's basic Swamp Go, so no 1-drop. I like that. Treachery is a good draw. I want to hold this Brainstorm for as long as possible. Dark Ritual, turn 2 Grief. Let's Brainstorm. Try to see what we can hide here. I think I'm going to hide Mana Crypt, Shield Dread. Our opponent has 2 cards left. They take the Treachery. So they left me with Murderous Rider. Play the Underground Sea and we'll pass the turn. Inside of combat, I will Murderous Rider or Swift End the Grief. Oh, it costs 3. My bad. Whoops. For some reason in my head it was 2. Don't know what I was thinking. If that was the case, I should have played out the Mana Vault. Do I want the Mana Crypt? I don't think I do. I'm going to Vampiric Tutor. So I could get the Graven Karens. I could also just go grab, like, Blackleaf Cliffs. I think it's Cliffs. Now we'll pass the turn. They have land number 4. Now we'll attempt to Rider their Grief. They have 2 cards left. It's a Giver of Ruins. 1 card left in hand. You draw another Swamp. Let's just play the Murderous Rider. When I play Shield Dread, I want to have Spell Pierce available. Land number 5 for our opponent. Tough break for them. Spellseeker is a good one. Swords to Plowshares and the Riders, their last card. They know that I have the shield. No, they don't. Never mind, I brainstormed it on top. That is an incorrect thing that I said there. Shield Dread. And I could play the Mana Vault. I'm going to play it safe and just hold open this Spell Pierce. Like, there's no reason to potentially throw this game away. Alright, so we're going to draw a card. This triggers. Okay, so we can play Mana Vault. Alright, so let's count some mana. 3, 6, 8. So I can go Spellseeker, Demonic Tutor, Wheel. Attack with the Shield Dread. They don't block. We'll play Spellseeker. This will enter the battlefield and then trigger, yes. Go grab Demonic Tutor. Play the Demonic Tutor. And then we'll grab Wheel of Fortune. Combo! Our opponent will lose 14 life on the spot. And we are now 2-0. One match left to go. Can we get the trophy? Stick around and find out. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. The final match of the league, we're on the draw. We have Vampiric Tutor for Mana Crypt, but the rest of our hand doesn't really do a whole lot. I feel like this hand is kind of a trap. I'm going to mulligan. And this is turn 2 Shield Dread. Yeah, I'm down to keep. We will get rid of the swamp. Yeah, I think it's the swamp. Plains Mox Pearl. And our opponent's passing the turn. I like to see that. Brainstorm. Do they not have another play? Yikes. We will Vampiric Tutor. Go grab that Mana Crypt. Play the Blood Crypt. I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. If they have like a Swords to Plowshares, this is going to hurt. Play the Shield Dread. They Reprieve. You got it. They have found land number 3. Mana Crypt. We'll pick Tails, because it always fails when we find Mind's Desire. Let's try Shield Dread again. Pass the turn. If they try to kill it, we can Brainstorm in response and gain 6 life. Our opponent loses 2. They have a tap land for Jeskai colors. Leyline Binding. We will Brainstorm in response. I mean, those are all good. I'm 1 mana short of Citadel. I think we're going to shuffle away Mind's Desire. We'll gain 6. I don't believe we have an answer to Leyline Binding in our deck. We'll choose Tails. We win the flip. Lovely. Let's play Spellseeker. Triggers. Yes. Am I really going to Demonic Tutor for a land? I think so. Alright, Demonic Tutor. Let's go search out Underground Sea. We'll play that. And then Candelabra. Pass the turn. Our opponent just passing. They could have a counter spell here. Okay, we're at 16. Treachery. Let's try the Citadel. Let's pray that this somehow resolves. Spell Pierce sending me back to the Stone Age. Okay. We will attack for 1. Pass the turn. Our opponent just holding open counters. We go to 13. Play our land. Let's attempt a Time Twister. Miscalculation. I will pay 2. Twister. We got the Citadel back. I love that. And Force of Will. I think here we're just supposed to play Rona and then attack. Next turn, the Rona can also clear the top of our deck. I am the beatdown. Hiya. Okay. Opponent plays Ponder. They did not shuffle. They play a Mana Vault. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I don't actually care about Teferi. That's fine. I could have forced this. I just don't think that's really what this game is about. Alright, Mana Crypt from 13 life. We lose the flip down to 10. A land. Let's loot with the Rona, because this is going to untap when Citadel resolves anyway. Desire actually seems decent here. We should hold up a second. Should I pivot off of Citadel? I mean, I am at 10 life. Alright, we're discarding Citadel. I wasn't planning on that. Vampiric Tutor. I think I want to grab Yawgmoth's Will. High Tide doesn't make sense. I don't want to give them more mana. And then we'll cast Frantic Search. Discard a pair of lands because I can replay one of these off of Yawgmoth's Will. Although if I hold the Will... Okay, if I hold the land and if I play it first... Okay, I'm actually supposed to discard the Desire. Untap, untap, untap. Play the land because this will make 2 mana. We'll now turn about myself. Land, untap. And now we'll cast Yawgmoth's Will with Force of Will back up. That just resolved. Okay, was not expecting that. Storm is 4. Okay. 6 mana. Let's turn about again. Land, untap. Storm is 5. So I could play Citadel with Vampiric Tutor up. I mean, that's probably good enough to win. Let's try the Citadel. Rona untaps. Vampiric Tutor. Tendrils of Agony. And then we'll cast Tendrils for 16. Whew. Alright, 1 game to go. I don't think we're supposed to board any differently. We're just going to resubmit. Our deck is already optimized for maximum performance. Well, this hand's good. We will keep. This Karen's only makes colorless mana right now, but the rest of this hand is just so good I think it would be silly to send it back. Candelabra. Mana Crypt. They have Spell Pierce? No! Oh, that was not very kind. Okay. You're mean, I get it. Player Candle. Pass the turn. They have a Plains. Alright, we just need to draw into some black lands at this point. Play the Rona. We'll pass the turn. And they're just playing land go. There's a black land. Play Spellseeker. Subtlety. Really? That's kind of surprising. That can go on the bottom. We don't want to redraw that. They have 3 cards left in their hand. Okay. On their end step, we'll activate the Rona. Discard Frantic Search. Spell Pierce. Okay, I like that. I'm just going to Demonic Tutor here. I want to be able to play Shield Dread with Spell Pierce backup. So what allows us to do that the best? I think it's Mana Vault. Because we can untap lands with the Candelabra to color fix. I'll just pass and loot. I don't really want to discard any of the cards in our hand, but maybe just filling my graveyard is good enough. They play an Adeline, sure. They have 2 cards on their end step of loot. Discard the island. Mana Vault. No, sorry. We drew a swamp anyway. Let's filter for black. We'll play Shield Dread. I'll loot in response. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. With that 1 mana floating, I'll untap our Black Leaf Cliffs. Pass the turn. They're at 18. Fractured Identity. How about you feel what it's like to be Spell Pierced? They have 1 card left in their hand. We'll activate Rona to draw a card. So the safe decision is getting rid of Yawgmoth's Will and just keeping open Force of Will. I'm trying to figure out if we could combo in with the Yawgmoth's Will. So we tap 3 lands, we play Will, we play a land from graveyard, Mana Crypt, we could Frantic Search, gain some life, but I don't know how we get to a wheel. Demonic Tutor would need to find 2 mana, and our deck is lacking mana. I think I'm just going to discard the Narset, which is like a middle plan, and it could bite me in the butt if our opponent has removal, and I don't find a blue card. Okay, we draw a land, attack with Shield Dread. They go to 14 and we'll pass. I might get... Maybe my decision here is going to cost me. Our opponent's now at 12. Kenrith. We can activate in response. I don't think I'm going to counter that. Sure. We'll take some damage here, but our life total is so high that just doesn't matter. Okay, we draw another land. Let's activate the Rona. We'll go up to 24. We find another land. I think I'm going to just pass here. They go to 10. They play a land. They have... It's interesting that they played the land because they're flooded a little bit. I don't know if that's only for Kenrith. We'll block the 1/1 because the Kenrith can put a 1/1 counter on the Adeline. Okay, so they still have 1 card in hand. High Tide. That should do it. I just want to talk through this. So, hypothetically, I play Yawgmoth's Will, play a land from graveyard. No, I need the High Tide. Okay. So we'll play the land, High Tide. And now we'll make black, and then 4 blue. We'll untap all of our lands. We'll float a black, and then we'll play Yawgmoth's Will. Play the Mana Crypt. And our opponent concedes! We got the trophy, my first draft of the season, and we got there. I'm just going to say it. I think Shield Dread is better than Tendrils of Agony in Stormcube right now. I was so impressed with this league. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And as always, keep storming. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.